Now then, British season, episode 4. Still have the same frame rate glitch in the game, so that's 3 full weeks of it. And yeah, the Lotus Evora Sport 410 day. Which is a very strange name, because most of the other days are usually named something like Secret Service, Asphalt Express, Keep Calm, and yeah, and this one is just called the name of the car that's used in all the things. But you can take a look down through all the missions. Yeah, I'll give timestamps below this to various places where some of them might be useful. And obviously, yeah, as always guys, please leave a like and subscribe if you find these videos useful. It does really help out my channel. But a rundown through the questions in case anyone's not 100% sure these. So finish first in a time attack stage, Scotland Wildlands in that track. I'll point out where you can get that track. Drift 30 kilometers in the Lotus Evora Sport. Now that's not an enjoyable one to do in the slightest, but you could do that with touch drive with the car on a really long track, so I'll find somewhere useful for that as well, for grinding 30 kilometers out with that thing. Perform 25 perfect nitros in car hunt daily events. Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one. That's just putting the car into a blue nitro state, and yeah, you could probably knock that one out in 1 or 2 runs. It's just a case of going into a car hunt, car into a blue nitro, back, repeat, back, repeat. A weird request, but just to grind it out quickly can probably be done in a single run. Beat 82 seconds in Ancient Ruins, single race, Scotland, Lotus Evora again. So again, just car, track, race. Easy enough. I kind of like these ones, but perform 8 seconds or less of airtime in the Royal's Finest event. So again, last week's one was destroy 15 or less items. This one is get less airtime. It's just a case of find your way around that track without like launching over ramps and stuff. So now I can picture a couple of places on that track where that's going to be difficult-ish, even if you leave it on touch drive. Touch drive, I think, goes over quite a few ramps in there, and it's a long enough race as well. So definitely just a case of go to that track and then avoid all ramps. 1500 rep for your club. If you've got the rep bonus at this stage, that's going to be pretty easy. Apply for upgrades. Now that has to be not import parts or epic import parts, but just the base level upgrades to the cars. So yeah, 4 of those need to be installed. Drive a total of 41 kilometers in multiplayer. Normally not too bad. 41 kilometers in multiplayer now will probably get you about maybe 2 or 3 crashes. But that's just the way the game is, and is waiting for that patch to come in. Still on week 4. At least it doesn't have to be any particular track for that one. At least it's just a case of playing multiplayer, and it's not doing anything in particular. It's just drive multiplayer for 41 kilometers. So yeah, it's not too bad at least. 5 360s, single race, 2-star car or better. Absolutely simple. Reach top 10 in special events, 0 out of 10. And I'm not certain yet, but if that includes Grand Prix races, that's going to be quite easy, because the Grand Prix is obviously just yourself each time. Even if it didn't include the Grand Prix, not only do you have that Bentley Continental awful Grand Prix on right now, you do have the special event installed for the Valhalla, which obviously doesn't give a whole lot of blueprints for that car, but the car itself is good. And there's a couple of days in that where you could definitely pull out a top 3 finish with some of the earlier stuff if they don't finish in the Grand Prix. I'll check to make sure if they do or not. Collect 2 or fewer nitro bottles in a single race in Scotland. So the ideal track for that is going to be a case of get Scotland, and yeah, obviously avoid nitro bottles, but the best track for that would be a really short one. So one of the 30-second Scotland tracks like Rocky Valley or Ghost Ships are the absolute shortest ones if you spot those in career. And then the last one's quite easy. Finish first in daily events, Class C car 5 times. So yeah, just anything Class C, really quite easy. It's just do 5 daily events. Now these ones are kind of weirdly stretched out around the place, but collect 2 fewer nitro bottles in a Scotland race. Perform 5 360s in a single race with a 2-star or greater. And beat 82 seconds, Ancient Ruins, Scotland, Lotus Evora. Yeah, those are the ones that'll be coupling together, I think, for this one. Now, in the first place, you'll find Ancient Ruins, where you can race it with the Evora, is here. Chapter 2, Euro Tracks, race number 2, Ancient Ruins. And yeah, you've got your Evora here. Now, obviously, my version of this is over 2 stars, so will also count towards the 316 challenge. Just need to avoid picking up 2 or more nitro bottles. So One interval is fine, just not to get two. And in a 90-second race, this could be a bit of fun. I do like kind of mixing together the challenges where they're a bit counterintuitive. So obviously the fact that like Rocky Valley would definitely be far better for this because it's a 30-second race. But yeah, it should be able to hopefully avoid and navigate around those nitro bottles in the Lotus. Just still want to get the 360 as well, which is obviously going to put the car a bit, slightly less control, but should be fine. Definitely fine. The time of 82 seconds, I think that should be okay as well in this version of the car. So there's a 360s clocked up. Scrape by, missed the nitro bottle. Let's see. I think it was just 5 360s. Oh. And that's one nitro bottle collected. So, really need to be careful now not to pick up a second one. But yeah, the haze and such isn't exactly ideal on this. But like I said, definitely for getting those nitro bottles or not getting the nitro bottles, I would advise taking one of the shorter tracks. Normally not quite going for a 90-second Scotland track, especially not with frame rate still being manky. So yeah, you have slightly less control of the car. Understatement of saying slightly, but yeah, there's definitely less control of the car. And let's see, 82 seconds. That's about 7 seconds to spare with that. So that should be hopefully 3 of those knocked out. Did get one nitro bottle on there, but it's 2 or fewer, so 1 should be gone for that. The 82 seconds, so that's year 34 unlocked for me. 5 360s in a single race, and also 2 or fewer nitro bottles in that single race. Looking then for the 3 time attacks in the Wildlands in Scotland in the Evora that need to be won. So you're coming in here to the British season, and it's on race number 7 of this, so you have to play through until stage 7. And you've got the Wildlands stage here as a time attack where the Evora is available. Now, this is a fairly easy enough race realistically in this car. So it's just win this one 3 times with the Evora. No massive challenge. I'm just trying to grind out some drifting and do my 3 runs of this one in the same go. So done this one twice already. And to be honest, it's definitely not one where you're going to be hanging around doing too much drifting with it. Because, the time is quite tight, and that Evora isn't exactly an amazing speed machine. So, it might be worth your while to just power through the 3 wins of this one in the time attack. Just because if you, I messed around once and I was just putting in loads of drifting. And of course, if you run out of time in this, the car will just explode. At least if it does time out and you explode, you get to keep the drift meters counted. But, this one isn't exactly a free place where you can just hold the drift button constantly. Even in the 3-star version of Evora, obviously you can get in some drifting time here, and I think I've clocked up about 10 or so K worth of meters for this, so it's 1/3 of the way. But definitely you want to kind of skim the car a small bit to get some speed up. There is time collection pieces on the track, but they're only 1 second, so whilst you can drift through those, you kind of need to speed up on a few different places at least to make sure that you don't just get DQ'd on this one. There we go. But you can, like I said, you can do quite a bit of drifting, but still you want to keep an eye on that time. 4 3 2 so I'm kind of even cutting it a small bit close there with just how much I'm kind of doing, and it's not exactly the longest course either. So there's going to be better ways of grinding out extra nitro, but beating the AI isn't a problem with that one. It's a case that the Evora is so slow that it's going to get DQ'd if you hang around too long on the track for absolute sure. That the lion's share of the actual Legend Pass points though from this, so tier 35 unlocked from that. Keep in mind I've got the bundle pass, so I'm going to be further along in the stages than you would be if you had the regular version of the pass. I didn't buy tiers, but I did start off 15 tiers ahead because of that. So the 3 wins of that got me 8,600, and that's including at least one time where I got DQ'd and exploded. Now, the track obviously appears in a few places, by the way, but to finish off that drifting, one of the best places to do it would be, say, a track like the Freedom Route in Scotland, which is one of the 2-minute tracks in Scotland. So definitely you're going to be able to do more grinding out there. The other track that's 2 minutes long and in Scotland is the Windmills, if you wanted to seek out that name if you're just looking for maximum thing. But for this one, like I said, I'm going to use the Evora, but just touch driving it and then effectively holding the drift button the entire time through that race. So just letting the touch drive through it, but while I'm just doing other bits and pieces, I'm just going to be holding on that B button and just let this one grind out. So it should be possible with the last few fuel units here. I do need 21k or so worth of drifting, but I will just clip forward to say exactly how many runs of this track doing that it took. And it's seen that drifting. And yeah, of course, the Scotland wasn't actually required as a part of that drifting for the Lotus Evora. It was just do it in the Evora. So I jumped out and went towards one of the Shanghai stage there, shopping spree, just because a lot more flatland, and I was able to use it. So pretty much any long track with the Evora available. There's 2-minute variants of each one of the tracks available, but I do find shopping spree is a really cool one because Shanghai in particular, it's just a really, really long track. And just any place where you can use the Evora on that. So I went into C-Class Elite. It's available there towards the end of that. But just find wherever you have the longest track available that you can use the Evora, and you'll be fine just drifting it away. Just touch drive drift. And it did take actually about 3 to 4 runs with that Evora to get the 30,000 meters drifted. But definitely using something really long like Shanghai and Shopping Spree, it's a great track for it. This one then, perform 25 perfect nitros in car hunt events. And I wonder, is it possible to do that in a single car hunt? Right now in game, there's the Venture one. I'm going to use the Lotus Elise here. Not aiming to really triple pack this one, but just to see, can you do 25 perfect nitros in a single run? I think you probably can. And like I said, the Venture car hunt is on right now. By the time this one's uploaded, I believe it's the Porsche 911 GT1, which is a car I actually need blueprints for. Hey, that's going to be quite a long time since that happened in a regular car hunt. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to grind out things for that. That 911 GT1, not exactly an amazing car, but at the same time, it's not a bad thing to have in the garage. So perfect nitro is just when you, like I said, put it into that blue state. So just 7, 8, it's fine, I think, probably to get like the 25 of these in a single run. And just obviously the Lotus Elise is pretty beastly in terms of how easy it is to generate that nitro and how little of it gets used up. So that's a 25 nitro combo there in a single run. And 3 packet as well while it's at it, because that the Elise's skidding and nitro ability are amazing. No top speed, but you can have it all with a car, can you really? That Venture amazing thing as well. So the riot for that should be starting up. I'll throw up a video for that. If that's on the same Navajo Nation track that it usually is, that car is great, but like it's one that's definitely not for beginners. Very difficult to get anything out of, and it's quite costly. So if you have been grinding that one up and you're looking at upgrading it for the riot, like you'll definitely want to give it a few races before you actually decide you're going to pump loads in there. Very powerful car, very quick car, but just not one for beginners in the slightest. Probably my second favorite C-Class car underneath the Husaria, just for sheer crazy power. But definitely not a car that's easy to drive. And boom, there we go. 25% benefit to the reputation gain as well. So that's the tier 36 rewards gained from completing that quest. Single run car hunt, nice enough. Now, so this Royal's Finest, 8 seconds or less of airtime in a single event. And that one's just going to be a case of doing a single run of that. Anything from the British season that's used in that Royal's Finest, just as long as it's 2 stars or greater, and just avoiding air at all costs on this. may as well make use of my Aston Martin. Yeah, the Vantage GT12 for this. Cool car. Delighted to have this one at gold. It's really like, yeah, a nice addition to the B class. Not ever gonna be the best of the B class, but definitely a very, very capable machine. And even in multiplayer against some of the better ones, it's obviously going to lose out to things like the Hurricane and a highly tuned Evija, but still definitely really fun to drive high-end B-class car. Well, mid to high-end. Now this track though, there's a couple of places where air is difficult-ish to avoid, but for the most part, this is going to be far easier than last week's one of avoiding the items on it. This is more just taking a blast through the stage. There's a few places where like you will pick up a small amount of airtime, but yeah, I just kind of gonna slam on the brakes here for a second. Over, right, drop down, nice and handy instead of going for like crazy jumps there. Same when you're coming up here, just be careful. You want to take the right hand route, do not be going up on any of the left, so right and right again should bring you to the flatland place, and right down this side. You can avoid most of the air on this track. Like, this is one where for some of these things there's like avoid airtime. I would say you can just put it in touch drive, but you actually can touch drive with this. It'll definitely go over the big ramps back there. It'll go over a couple of ramps by default. You're going to slow it down a small bit here so you don't catch too much air time on this little hop. 0.6 of a second. It's not too bad. It's not going to cost us that. It's just a case of need to avoid 8 seconds. And yeah, I think I'm home free for most of this. You're going to get one more ramp up here. But again, slapping on the brakes. Just want to drop forward over this as easy as possible and not catch that much air. Just skid up, 2 seconds clocked in, not too bad. Definitely just avoid the long crazy jumps and don't touch that nitro button while you're getting air in the places where you absolutely have to. But there we go, Vantage. Absolutely ridiculously fun kind of agility car as well when it's at the higher levels of tuning. But 214 Legend Pass points. Nice. Not too much of a chance, like I said, far easier than the avoiding the 15 items on episode 3, but still fun nonetheless to blitz around and just watch out for places where you have to avoid that airtime. Minor jump cut there, but yeah, this 1500 rep in the club, that's fairly easy to do. The 41 kilometers in multiplayer, yeah, that was not as long as I thought. So I started playing a few multiplayer games to knock out some of that. And 41 kilometers is only actually about kind of 10 or 15 games. So definitely not that bad a grind at all, especially when you consider the fact that there's no other qualifiers. It doesn't have to be like in a certain league, not on any certain maps or so. You just play some multiplayer. So that's pretty cool, especially in comparison to last week's trying to find Scotland and trying find Osaka and stuff. This one, like, I got a crash on one of the races, but yeah, that one completed just by some games. So that's really nice to see stuff that you can just do in any mode. Really nice. I did see the fact that the reach top 3 in special events does not count in the Grand Prix races. Definitely not in the practice stages. So yeah, I was just taking a look with the finishing off the qualifying practice pieces there for that awful Bentley Continental, and yeah, like they just did not count at all. The one win that I have from that is the Aston Martin Valhalla concept car. I done one of the races in that, and yup, they count for sure. But wow, that special event is a bit odd in how costly it will be for, admittedly, a king of the A class, as people often refer to that as. But the problem is, at 1, 2, and 3 stars, it's really like not going to compete with stuff like the Aperta and the Pagani that some players may already have had like maxed out. So just keep in mind that when somebody refers to that as being a king, it's when it's kind of tuned in equally. It's when it's kind of like tuned equally like the Pagani would be in someone's garage. So yeah, don't expect to just unlock that at 1 star and have it like, you know, be running Apertas and Gentis even, and definitely not Paganis off of the track. Like, that is not how that one works. Taking a look at the apply upgrades, a 0 of 4 then. Which cars will I throw those onto? Considering the fact that the Bentley, I believe, is needed definitely in the special event. And this is one that, like, I think in the last special event that used the Legend Pass car, it was possible to do it at stock. But just in case this is needed to be tuned up, I will just pop the tuning into that one for the my daily quests and tuning number 4 then as well, then just to get that apply upgrades 4 of 4 done. Because yeah, that's definitely a car that, like, I know it's made use of, and while it might not need to be tuned up to max, I'll just throw a few upgrades onto that. For the finish first in a daily event for the C class, I'll probably just finish that one off. Done a few races in the weekly C contest. Just before that finished up. But yeah, some nice tokens from that. But I would say, like, probably one of the easiest places to try that into is going to be just the daily car loot, to grind that one out a small bit. Because, yeah, a lot of the other quests that are available at the moment don't exactly involve a C-class car, unless you wanted to do, like, the daily heist, or else wait for, the Saturdays, like, start where there's the multi-class cups, and you could get some blueprints from those. But yeah, there isn't a whole lot of other things you can do with a C-class car right now, at least, other than just, the daily car loot. My third daily complete, and there we go. Yeah, that's 129 points for myself. This final quest here then, though, that's the reach top 3 in special event, and that can only be done in the Valhalla Aston Martin concept car special event at the moment. And like, this event is a bit of a ticket hog in the fact that most days need to be run like 10 times, which isn't exactly super enjoyable when they take 2 tickets to run. Also, the Valhalla itself is really weird, and the fact that the days it shows up on so far, 2 and 6, are pretty rough in terms of frame rate. And yeah, like, it's a very bad representation of the car, in my opinion. This will be my final run here just on this track, said the Land of Snow, and all I have to do is come first in it, which I'm pretty sure is a given as long as I don't fail. But what I mean is, like, you want to showcase this car and make it so that this car is kind of sought after. Now, the second special event in the British season is for the Speedtail, and that thing is both a rubbish car with bad physics, and it's an S-class car. So right now in game, it has 0 use to the player base, who cannot, like, play in that with that car in multiplayer. But what I mean is, like, if you're showcasing a very, very fast, powerful A-class car, and this thing will be a king of the A-class, as in it's the king A-class, putting it in where its stages are all pretty much like cops absolutely slamming the heck out of the car, it's so not what the car kind of like is about. This is not a car which handles getting thumped by traffic really well, especially here. Frame rate, like, it's just nonsense, really. Whoever put together this, and this isn't a Nintendo Switch team one, because this event is obviously just copy pasted off of the global version of the game. But yeah, whoever put together this as being the way to showcase the Valhalla, there again, get up to 200 and have a cop just break in front of me, have this nonsense of getting grinded into a wall. It's just really hard to understand how somebody would thought this is the kind of place to showcase a car like the Valhalla, or just any car in general. Like, every car that's going to be involved in a race like this is really going to have issues, not just... Fuck it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I said, if you want to sell people DLC that makes the Valhalla look good, this sort of nonsense event is just... yeah, it makes the car look shit. The game is running so poorly. Throwing the car in particular, like, put the Vulcan into these stages, the TVR Griffith, the cars that are slow and chuggy, and then have these stages have been the ones where you're free to do a good time. But no, instead you get like the special event car in absolute nightmarely terrible stages. And oh my god, like, again, this isn't a Nintendo Switch team problem. This is a rant that should go a year back in time and slap somebody working on the Android version, because that's where this has come from. And like, yeah, it would have taken too much work to change this on the Nintendo Switch. But again, this isn't a Switch problem. This is the original game that the Switch team was handled. Admittedly, the Switch version is running poorly now, which doesn't really make this in any way fun at all. But that's just the way the Switch one is at the moment. This event, even if the frame rate was working properly, it would be slightly better, but it'd be a really bad way to showcase that TV. It'd still be a really bad way to showcase that Aston Martin concept car, which could, it's an amazing car, but just. Could I have possibly seen what ended me? I could have, if I was in a different camera angle, maybe, and having the ability to move at a decent frame rate, possibly. But otherwise, that car is effectively hidden behind there. I would like to see in the actual footage of the run, was it going to be visible when I went into it? But yeah, from a point of view of the actual, like, your racing car, that's how much of the cop car you get to see that's in front there. And when the game is chugging at that frame rate, that is, good luck with knowing that that's the end of your race if you cut across that snow part. That is really just, hello, I am a cop car. Whoomp. Buy 2 tickets. And yeah, that Aston Martin Valhalla, like I said, it makes it look like a rubbish car. I'm going to jump forward to, the finishing of a 10th run, though. Like, I know that at the moment the Switch's version is running poorly, but these... Now, I was just doing a run of this just to make a point of like how poor this runs, and yeah, got immediately sidelined off the road by a cop. And yeah, just like this whole special event, it's really, really kind of poorly put together. The Aston Martin Valhalla itself is a really... And the thing is, okay, the slow frame rates, that's a Nintendo Switch thing at the moment. But this special event came from the... Fuck! Fucking... Fuck. Now, and I actually went back into the TVR day because... Oh my stars, the AI on that stage, just like... Absolute nightmare. Just crazy, crazy nightmare. But yeah, that's my... first place finished done in the these, and yeah, that brings me up to 3039, which is cool because there's like a 25% boost to the trade coins gained, which is really, really nice. And that is everything done from episode 4, which weirdly again is just called the name of the card that's used a lot. Imagination Plus. Ah dear. I don't think I'm gonna get a upgrade for the actual Bentley from this. Let's see, up to 4 blueprints there. No, I do not think so. Now let's see the actual rewards then from the missions themselves. So 2 just regular packs, some 10 A packs, but that's a shame because they come before the trade coin boost. There's no way to actually have that before you unlock those. Oh well. And let's see, 10 import parts as well. I don't think these packs have been updated for any of the new cars, which is a shame because they're all still like the launch game pretty much stuff in there, so you don't see the DBS inside the B-class cars just yet, at least anyway. Hopefully you'll see them sometime in this future, but then again, I don't even think the Mazda Furai has been added to the D-class packs, so it does kind of suck. And yeah, there's tons and tons and tons of import parts. Now obviously, like, I'm absolutely overloaded with those, so that's going to be quite a lot of trade coins for me once I get the next boost to that, because that's not the trade coins fully powered up just yet. some P1 trade coins, and then some Bentley stuff. But yeah, see, unfortunately, the trade coins comes at the very end of all that, which means that now everything plus everything after this now would be boosted by that. But still, it's the majority of this is just 5 blueprints for the Bentley, 250 tokens is pretty nice, 25% extra rep boost. But the rest of it is just trade coins and trade coins the whole way back, pretty much, and just a few credits, obviously, as well. Looking ahead, so the next tier for me gets 6 blueprints for the DBS Superleggera, and yeah, I've got that car maxed out already. An epic for the Bentley from the season pass that I'm probably not going to ever make use out of. And then you start to get in some juicy bits and pieces at least. Then you have the 10 blueprints for the Bentley, which should bring that up to 2 stars, which is cool. But again, I'm not going to go much more into that really. These Legend Pass cars are just kind of like nice to haves and pretty, but I haven't found much use for them other than just, like I said, just being nice to haves, and obviously in the special events where they pop up. The 300 tokens, nice enough. That'll probably go straight into Valhalla blueprints. And hopefully the next set of quests gives enough to get along to here, which is the finishing point of the trade coin boost from this Legend Pass. So yeah, it is going to take 1 more week to get the maximum of the trade coins, and then probably another week or so after that to get the full boost of all of the fuel with this, and a really nice amount of tokens as well coming towards the second half of this Legend Pass. Like I said, these Legend Passes are always kind of like, if you're going to buy anything, the Legend Passes are pretty much the best thing to buy in DLC. Though, like, there's so many other packs that offer you far less rewards than what these give, if you've got some time to play them. Obviously, if you don't play the game, then the Legend Pass gives you nothing. That's kind of the way these are set up. But at least if you do play the game, you know exactly more or less what you're getting throughout. Now I can finally claim these awesome Halloween events. I don't know, will this stay here till next week when I get the thing, but yeah, it does make a tiny difference if you like delay certain rewards and stuff like that. It's minuscule realistically, but like over time, those kind of bits and pieces do add up to obviously, give you some more trade coins and some more rewards if you kind of navigate the game a little bit cheekily, just in the same way that, say, in my club rewards right now, I haven't claimed any of the blueprint rewards that will give me trade coins, because the season will go on until the next trade coin boost comes in at 25%, because it's the least coming in the next 2 weeks, which this season is here for. And yeah, then I can obviously like claim up these the Jaguar ones. I can take those because I actually need these guys. I'm not sure if I'll be going to the next piece with that, but yeah, all the way through this, say, Aston Martin Vulcan, Griffith, these packs and packs and packs of blueprints. Like, there really is no point in me just claiming those now, because like I would get less for them. So yeah, it's one of those, like I said, tiny difference, but it does add up over time when you're kind of making the most of like Legend Pass boosts and stuff like that. Same way as like trying to make use of the 10 free tickets every day to keep an eye on the clock for when that resets, and making sure that it's there for, like, say, useful time. So the start of the car hunt, I usually like to let it lapse the day before, just so I have the extra boost of tickets. But yeah, like obviously all those Legend Pass kind of bonuses don't make any difference unless you're actually making use out of them. But that's episode 4, 100%ed. Strange one that it's all based around the Lotus Evora, but yeah, I mean, some pretty cool things to do there. Not too much grinding. The multiplayer grind is way easier than the previous day, in my opinion. And yeah, the rest of it was pretty pain-free. But anyway, guys, if you watch these and enjoy, please do consider giving that a click. If you have watched this far already, thank you very much for the support. Leave a like, drop a comment down below what you think of this season pass, and obviously the fact that, like, I think this would be a really good season if not for the fact of, like, it's now into episode 4 and the first 3 weeks have been with that crazy frame rate reduction. Like, that is a genuinely, it's difficult to want to play Asphalt now. I would love to be playing the events that are in game, but the game is in a state where I would say it is close to unplayable, which is a shame. But yeah, as always, guys, there is the sub button up there over my head. and other videos for me here and here. And yeah, good luck and drive safe in this one.